It's not necessarily a quick process, and you just do what you can and methodically to the point where the team just improves with every move you make.
With a lot of focus has been on the players that have the contract restrictions. We know how you tried to deal with them prior to the trade deadline. How does that change now? Do you still have as many options open to you before?
Well, of the 5 players who had no trade clauses in their contract at the trade deadline, one is now a free agent in Mats, and another one in Cabina. There's a time period in there this summer that he can be traded.
With the other 3, though?
The other 3 still have no trade clauses, but if they need to be dealt with, they'll be dealt with at the appropriate time.
How do you go about making those decisions, though, without knowing what the new GM may have in mind on those players?
Well, that's why they brought me in, and that is to try to make intelligent decisions that will, what I use the term when I came here, clear the table for the next person. So whatever has to be done before the next GM is here, we'll get the job done.
What do you hope to deliver to the next GM? A team with more prospects and draft picks, a team with salary cap space, or a team that still has a veteran presence and a veteran core?
Well, I hope to deliver a better situation than it is today. And like I said a few moments ago, we do have a plan, and it's all a matter of timing and what can be accomplished and what can't be accomplished. But hopefully it'll be a little bit brighter when the new person comes on board. That's all I could try to do.
Why do you say there might not be as much interest in this job as people might think?
No, I'm saying there may be 1 or 2 candidates out there that are more than happy where they currently are. I don't know. We haven't talked to any candidates. We have a list of people who we think would be very, very capable to run the Toronto Maple Leafs going forward in the future. But there hasn't been any communication with their teams or the people themselves, so who knows? It'll only start to unfold as the process goes forward.
And again, just for timing purposes, that process may not be able to start until the middle or latter part of June because the playoffs go till then. Can you make impact moves between now and then? We talked about buyouts possibly and all that, and you mentioned it would be better to do towards the end of June and stuff like that.
No,
timing-wise.
Howie, I can make any move that has to be made in the time frame that I'm here.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but can you make that move now? Is it practical to make it now with other teams, or do you have to wait? That's what I mean. I'm not questioning authority. Is it practical to make moves now, or do you have to wait until teams are finished in the playoffs? Can you make moves with teams that are outside of the playoff picture right now? Is it timing?
Well, if you look at the history of the NHL, there's very little activity during the Stanley Cup playoffs. It usually takes, things start to heat up a little around the middle of May and accelerate as you approach the date for the entry draft. And then even more so as you get toward July 1st. So whatever has to be done in the necessary time frame will be done.
Cliff, for maybe the candidates who maybe currently aren't working right now, is there a reason that maybe they haven't been approached at this point earlier?
You'd have to ask Gord Kirk that. I think they want the process to start at one time.
Cliff, is there an area that you focus on first down the stretch? A lot of people talking about the grit of the team, a shutdown defenseman. Do you have a focus that you go with right now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if this was a fantasy league, we'd know exactly what we'd like to put on the ice come October, but it isn't. And there are several moves that the hockey organization here would like to try to see happen. Naturally, they may not all happen. Some may, but we're moving forward. We know where we'd like to be. And we know how, we have a plan on how we can get there.
How long do you think it would take to rebuild this team? Are you looking at a playoff team next year? Are you looking at building a foundation for a playoff team 3 years from now, 5 years from now?
Well, when you're talking 5 years from now, that's totally inappropriate with the system that's in place. But we're not putting any timetable on it. You get a little fortunate, it may be sooner, or it could be a little longer, but the team is going to start to get better.
Is this a bigger rebuilding job for you, Cliff, that you're looking at than what you dealt with in the early 90s when you were first here in Toronto?
Well, sure it is. It's a different kind of rebuilding job. It's a different kind of rebuilding job because you're working with a salary cap. The most important thing under the current system today is drafting well and developing your own players. And so that you have that base of homegrown players, younger and probably making lower salaries, that you can integrate with some free agents and have a team that's capable of going for all the marbles. So it's absolutely critical, and that isn't done overnight. I mean, we have 10 draft choices this year, 8 in the top 130, and we've signed so far in the last couple of weeks 2 free agents, 1 free agent college player and 1 free agent junior player. It's not a quick process, but it's started.
Your most arguably tradable asset is a goaltender. I know you didn't want to do it at the deadline. Would you consider listening to offers from Mississauga if the club was going to get younger and perhaps be more of a prospect type team?
Well, you listen to offers for anything. I mean, Wayne Gretzky was traded. But logically, when finally we have someone who looks like he could be the goaltender that could take you an awful long way, it really doesn't make any sense to move him out. I mean, you have to start building a team around somebody, and if you have a good goaltender, it's a hang of a way to start.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.